Have you ever looked up at the night sky and just thought, are we alone? I mean, it's a question that people have been asking, like, forever,
It
right?
really is.
We all look at the stars, and we know there are tons of planets out there around all those stars. So is there another Earth? Is there life out there like us?
Yeah.
Welcome to Cosmos in a Pod Space and Astronomy series.
Cosmos in a pod.
Today we're going to try and answer that question. What makes Earth special? Why is it the only planet we know of with life?
Right.
What makes our little blue dot so unique in this vast universe?
Well, let's pretend for a second. You're an alien scientist looking through your telescope at Earth from like millions of light years away. What do you notice first?
Well, I'm guessing it would be all that blue. The
Yeah,
water.
you got it. More than 70% of Earth's surface is covered in water. So it's like a giant sign that says, hey, there's life here.
Okay, so water's important.
Yeah.
But why is liquid water so special? I mean, can't life exist without it?
Well, think about just your day. How many times do you need to use water, for your morning coffee or when you brush your teeth? Water is like a part of everything we do. And it's not just humans. Every single living thing on this planet needs water. From the smallest bacteria to the biggest whale. It's vital for regulating temperature and transporting nutrients.
Right.
And it's also essential for all those chemical reactions that make life possible.
So it really is like the lifeblood of our planet.
It is. And you know what makes Earth really special? Is how far away we are from the sun. It's the perfect distance for water to stay liquid. That's not so common in the universe.
So most other planets are either too close to their star and the water boils away,
Yeah.
or too far away and it just freezes solid.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're in this sweet spot, this Goldilocks zone,
Yeah.
where it's not too hot, not too cold, just right for liquid water.
It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but instead of porridge, it's the perfect temperature for life.
Right. Okay, so we've got liquid water covering most of Earth, but that's just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Okay.
We also need the right kind of air to breathe.
Absolutely. We need an atmosphere, and not just any atmosphere. It needs to have the right mix of gases, and that's another thing that makes Earth so unique.
Okay, so what's so special about our atmosphere?
Yeah.
I know it's mostly nitrogen and oxygen, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and then just a tiny bit of other gases like carbon dioxide. That
Yeah.
21% oxygen is what keeps us alive. It's crucial for all the complex life forms on Earth.
Right, we need oxygen to breathe. But don't plants make oxygen? So couldn't other planets with plants have oxygen too?
That's a great question. You're right. Plants and other organisms that use photosynthesis do produce oxygen, but it's all about a delicate balance. You see,
Uh-huh.
the amount of oxygen in an atmosphere depends on a lot of things, like
Yeah.
what kinds of organisms are there, what's going on geologically, and just the overall environment of the planet.
So just because they're plants doesn't mean the atmosphere will be breathable.
Not necessarily. It's all about a delicate dance that Earth has perfected over billions of years. And remember, our atmosphere doesn't just let us breathe. It also acts like a giant shield protecting us from all that harmful radiation coming from the sun. And it even burns up most of the meteors that try to hit us.
So it's like Earth has its own built-in sunscreen and a meteor defense system.
That's a great way to put it. But there's another layer of protection we need to talk about, something that's a bit more invisible.
You mean Earth's magnetic field?
Yes.
I've heard it's super important for us, but I don't really get how it works.
Okay, well, imagine this giant ball of molten iron swirling around deep inside Earth.
Okay.
That constant movement acts like a giant generator, creating this magnetic field that surrounds the entire planet. It's almost like Earth has its own force field.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But why is this magnetic field so important?
Well, think of the sun like a giant hose that's always spraying out charged particles.
Yeah.
We call it the solar wind, and it's pretty powerful.
Right.
If it hit Earth directly, it would basically rip away our atmosphere, and we'd be exposed to all sorts of harmful radiation from space.
So our magnetic field deflects that solar wind and keeps our atmosphere safe.
Exactly. It's one of the main reasons why Earth is so hospitable to life.
Wow. Okay, so we've got liquid water, a protective atmosphere, and a magnetic shield. It sounds like Earth is a pretty special place.
It is.
But I've also heard that Earth is unique because of something called plate tectonics. What exactly is that, and how does it make our planet so special?
That's a great question. You're right, plate tectonics is another amazing feature of Earth. Imagine Earth's crust is like a giant puzzle, and it's cracked into these massive pieces of rock called plates.
Okay, I can picture that. But what makes these plates so special? Do they just sit there?
No, not at all. They're constantly moving, bumping into each other, pulling apart, grinding past one another. It's like a slow-motion dance happening right beneath our feet.
Whoa. So the ground we're standing on is constantly shifting. That's kind of freaky.
It is a bit mind-boggling, isn't it? And all that movement is what causes earthquakes and volcanoes. But it's not all bad news. Plate tectonics are also responsible for creating mountains and valleys and ocean basins. They've shaped the very continents we live on.
Wow. So these plates are like giant artists constantly shaping and reshaping the Earth's surface.
Exactly. And that constant change is crucial for regulating Earth's climate over a very long time. You see, plate tectonics help recycle carbon, which is essential for life between the inside of Earth and the atmosphere. And this process helps keep our climate stable, preventing those crazy temperature swings that would be really bad for life.
So it's like Earth's internal thermostat keeping things balanced.
Exactly. It's this incredible feedback loop that helps maintain the perfect conditions for life. But let's zoom out a bit. We've been talking about Earth itself, but what about where we are in the solar system? Our neighbor, the moon, actually plays a really important role in making Earth unique.
Really? The moon, I always thought it was just kind of there. Pretty to look at, but not really essential.
It's more important than you think. The moon acts like a giant stabilizer for Earth's tilt. Without it, Earth's axis would wobble all over the place, causing crazy and unpredictable climate changes. Imagine seasons that last for centuries, or temperatures that go haywire every year.
That would be a disaster. So the moon keeps our seasons relatively stable and predictable.
Exactly. And it also plays a huge role in creating our tides. The moon's gravity is what causes those ocean tides, which are super important for marine life and coastal ecosystems.
Wow, so the moon is way more important than we give it credit for. It's like Earth's silent partner, quietly influencing life in so many ways.
Exactly. And when we compare Earth to its neighbors like Venus and Mars, the difference is incredible. Venus is about the same size as Earth, but it has this runaway greenhouse effect, which makes it the hottest planet in our solar system.
Wow.
Its surface temperature is hot enough to melt lead. And then there's Mars, which is a cold, dry desert with a really thin atmosphere. It can't support liquid water on its surface at all.
It really makes you realize how lucky we are to live on a planet with such perfect conditions for life. Right. But is this stability guaranteed? Could something happen that disrupts this delicate balance?
Yeah, it could. And that's a really important question to think about. You know, Earth's delicate balance isn't a sure thing. There are threats out there, both here on Earth and out in space.
Okay, that sounds kind of scary. What kind of threats are we talking about?
Well, one of the biggest threats right now is climate change. Humans are putting way too many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and it's messing with Earth's climate system.
Yeah, we're already seeing the effects of that: rising sea levels, more extreme weather events, and it's really hurting biodiversity. It's a big problem.
It really is. And then there's the threat of asteroids hitting Earth.
Oh, yeah?
You know, big asteroid impacts are rare, but they can cause a lot of damage. Just look what happened to the dinosaurs.
It's kind of scary to think about a giant space rock just wiping everything out. Makes you appreciate every day a little more, I guess.
It definitely puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
And then there are those cosmic events that we have no control over at all, things like supernovae and gamma ray bursts. Those are incredibly powerful events. And if they happen close enough to our solar system, they could really mess up Earth's atmosphere and radiation balance.
Okay, now I'm starting to feel really small and insignificant in all of this.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
But it is fascinating in a kind of terrifying way.
Yeah.
It seems like the more we learn about Earth, the more we realize how much we still don't know.
You're absolutely right. Even with all the science and technology we have, Earth still has a lot of mysteries that we haven't figured out yet.
So what are some of the big unanswered questions that scientists are still trying to figure out?
Well, one of the biggest mysteries is how life began on Earth. I mean, we know that life started billions of years ago.
Yeah.
But we still don't know exactly how it happened. There are lots of theories, but we're still searching for that definitive answer.
Wow. It's amazing to think that we still don't fully understand how life itself started, how it all began.
It really is. And another big question is, how long will Earth be able to support life? We know that the sun is a star, and like all stars, it won't last forever.
Right.
As the sun gets older, it's going to get hotter and brighter. And that's going to affect whether or not Earth can still support life. So the big question is, how much time do we have? That's something scientists are working hard to figure out.
So it's almost like we're on a timer. We know that Earth won't always be a habitable planet.
Right.
Makes you wonder about the future of humanity and if we'll ever be able to find another home out there in space.
Yeah, it's definitely a question that makes us want to explore and learn and try to find solutions. And then there's the mystery of Earth's magnetic field. We know it's created by that molten iron moving around in the Earth's core,
Uh-huh.
but we don't fully understand how it works in the long term. What
Right.
happens if the magnetic field gets weaker or flips over? That could have a huge impact on life on Earth.
It really does seem like the more we learn about Earth, the more we realize how much we still don't understand. It's a never-ending journey of discovery.
Absolutely. And that's what makes studying our planet so interesting. There's always something new to find out, always more to learn.
So what's the main takeaway from all of this? What should we as the people living on this little blue planet, what should we keep in mind?
I think the most important thing to remember is that Earth is a truly special and unique planet in a huge and often dangerous universe.
Hmm.
Everything we've talked about, the liquid water, the breathable atmosphere, the magnetic field that protects us, the active geology, the stable climate, and all the incredible diversity of life,
Right.
all of those things work together to create the perfect conditions for life as we know it.
It really makes you see our home planet in a whole new light.
It does. And it shows us how important it is to understand and protect our planet.
Yeah.
By studying Earth, we can learn so much about what makes a planet habitable, and that can help us in our search for other worlds that might support life out there in space.
Sure.
But it also reminds us that we need to fix the problems we're facing here on Earth, like climate change, so that Earth can stay a healthy home for life for generations to come.
Yeah, it really does make you appreciate what we have. And it really shows how important it is to understand and protect our planet. By studying Earth, we can learn so much about what makes a planet habitable. And that can help us when we search for other worlds that might have life out in space.
Yeah.
But it also highlights the need to take care of the problems we have here on Earth, like climate change. We need to fix these problems so that Earth can continue to be a good home for life for a long, long time.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's been amazing exploring all these wonders of our home planet. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into what makes Earth so unique.
It was my pleasure.
And for our listeners out there, be sure to follow and subscribe to Cosmos in a Pod and our YouTube channel. We've got more incredible deep dives into space and astronomy coming up.
Hey, we do.
Until next time, keep looking up and keep those questions about the universe coming.